All right, here we are in the other half of the semifinal bracket at Alberta Beatdown 2, being held at OverKlocked Gaming and Computers in Edmonton, Alberta. We've got Edmonton gamers putting on this event, and we're going to be, and here it is on iCCup TV. And game one is going to be on MLG's Metalopolis. We've got SaroVati versus ILIKECRAYON. And we're going to see SaroVati, the purple Protoss, over here at the 3 o'clock position. ILIKECRAYON, the blue Terran. And again, it's very important to note this is MLG's version of Metalopolis. The close ground positions have been disabled, and there is a supply depot down here at the bottom of the map of the ramp, so you can't while your opponents ramp in with things like bunkers or anything like that.
So now the really important features of this map are the center golds, and basically the center golds are taken either by the Terran, who's going to go mech and just take it, and there's nothing the Protoss can do about it, or it's either going to be taken by economical cheese by either player, or it's because the Protoss is so far ahead, he's just going to take the gold, and that's going to help him seal the game. The really important part of Terran, and unlike Archaic, I think I've seen Crayon play Bio, and on this map that's going to be really, really awesome. He's got a really long way around, but he can come and drop in the back of the main where Protoss is likely to have all of his important tech. Depending on what that tech it is, we're going to see a different kind of way he's going to be playing the Bio. If he's playing Colossus, we're going to see a lot of little drops with basically Marauders. And if we're seeing the Templar upgrade style like we've been seeing against Archaic that SaroVati was playing, we'll be seeing a lot more engagements, which would be really, really exciting for everyone to watch.
Yeah, and SaroVati did scout out the close air positions because those are technically the closest positions on this map. And now the probe's going to be finding ILIKECRAYON over here in the cross. And he's going to see the barracks, he's going to see the single refinery, and the orbital command going down. So again, just normal stuff out of the Terran player so far. And kind of hiding the second barracks over here a little bit. Probe will probably spot this unless he just leaves it in these LOS blockers.
Basically, I was assuming to see, we're seeing a reactor come out, so this is going to be,
this is so
an
cute.
all-in.
Yeah, look at this. The Marine might head, but there he finally finds the probe. The probe is in that little spot there.
Oh, he's going to
the
push it
LOS
into
blockers
barracks.
can't actually see it. And he'll see the barracks. And he will see the reactor. So he's got a pretty good idea of what's going on right now. And SaroVati might focus everything to chrono boosting units out of these gateways right now. He's going for that one gate expansion. He's really going to have to start pumping some units out. He is going to try to chrono boost out this warp gate, and I'm not sure that's going to be the best decision here.
No,
it's a bit of a risk.
I think you're completely right. It's going to be recommending on chrono boosting the gateways, and this is going to be really weird because he doesn't know how long he has to wait. He could be coming with like 6 Marines. He could be coming with 18 Marines and like 7 Marauders. He doesn't really know what kind of rush is coming, and we're going to see a bunker being placed by the SCV pretty likely and going to force cancel on this Nexus. And since he only has one gateway, there's really not a whole lot he can do. The most he can really do is get the Stalker over to Crayon's base as fast as possible and just poke at the Marines while he's on the way to the base. As we see the command center going down, we're probably just going to see this to be a pretty safe expansion with a lot of units.
Yeah, I definitely like this play. I mean, there's really not much in the way of early game pokes that SaroVati could throw at this other than something like a 4-gate all-in that could really do a lot of damage. So this is very, very safe. It's relatively cheap to do. You don't need a lot of gas. You still have the ability to go into whatever tech tree you really want to. And you've got a reactor and a tech lab. If you decide to throw down some factories, you have access to pretty much whatever you need. It's a very well-rounded strategy. First Stalker right now is going to do a little bit of damage to this bunker, but is really just not going to do very much whatsoever. It's going to try to get in here, poke these Marines a little bit.
Yeah, if you notice, he's doing really, really cute micro. Every time the Stalker pokes, he's moving the weakened Marine away, and that's actually a big deal. It adds up this early in the game when there's a lot smaller units. But the important thing to note, we're going to see a macro game, and we haven't got to see one for a while. We see the second gas going down for SaroVati, and we have to see where Terran wants to take this. Does he want to go mech? Does he want to drop a few more barracks? And we see a factory going down, as well as a second gas. So it's going to be a little bit of a lull here, but we see a pylon going down, and with 3 gateways, he can put on a little bit of pressure, but there's really not a whole lot he can do except kind of contain Crayon. And since it's so early, I don't really think we're going to see him take an obnoxiously fast third, but we're just going to see where this action goes. We are seeing a bunch of Stalkers being warped in.
This is pretty much identical to what SaroVati did to MK Engine the last time we saw them play in, I think, even these exact same positions. He's going to be able to do a pretty decent amount of damage here, but good reactions there by Crayon's going to be able to repair that bunker pretty quickly here. Is going to be able to snipe off a decent number of Marauders there and put a pretty significant dent into the early game arm. He's also forced a few SCVs to come off the line, and all he's really done is just attack move in with a few Stalkers, so this is a really nice play. It's allowing him to gain an economic advantage and start going into whatever tech path he really decides that he wants to go for. Stalkers, again, just getting in here, picking off whatever they want. There's another free Marine kill. Free damage on the bunker. It's going to cost Crayon a little bit of minerals. And none of these Stalkers are actually going down. They're not even really taking any huge damage. They're just falling back, regenerating their shields. And this is all around just a really nice play coming out of SaroVati. Meanwhile, there's an SCV actually hanging out in the main base of SaroVati. And it's going to give him a decent amount of scouting information. He's going to see the double forge here. He's going to be able to gear up very nicely for the later stage of this game. He knows exactly what SaroVati's plan is.
And that's a really big deal. He didn't have to burn and scan, which, let's be honest, he probably would have scouted eventually, but since he's seen it so early, he's like, okay, there's no Colossus. When I get my starport that's coming up right now, he doesn't have to invest in the Vikings. He just goes medevacs. And then what I assume he's going to be doing since he's playing Bio, he's going to get Ghosts out. And that's what I want to see. It's going to be really cool EMP battles, lots of micro. And this is really awesome. We're seeing a lot of action going on. The only thing I wanted to see more is Blink. I think if you're putting this much pressure on with this many Stalkers, you need Blink. And that's the only thing I can say I don't like about SaroVati's play.
I think at this point, he's pretty confident without Blink. He hasn't really seen Crayon try to stim a bunch of Marauders and chase him down, or try to engage him head on. He's really confident in the fact that Crayon is just trying to be defensive at this point. And he's okay without having Blink. I don't think he's really committing to doing a ton of damage, but I definitely would like to see Blink in the near future when the big engagements really do start to happen. As that's going to be pretty detrimental if this Bioforce really does manage to grow. And despite the fact that Crayon's has had so much pressure put on him so far, he's still been able to get a pretty sizable army out. He's going to be able to start pumping up medevacs very quickly, and his army is just only going to continue to grow, and pretty soon it's going to be able to run through gateway units very easily.
Yeah, we're going to see the first medevac out, so probably going to see a drop pretty soon. But the best thing that SaroVati is doing, he's not letting that happen. He keeps showing the Stalkers, I'm here, you can't leave with your units, you need your medevac here. The only thing he's not... Okay, so now he's getting ready to gear up to take his expansion that the SCV is scouting. But the important thing is he's keeping him in his base. He's not allowing the drop tech of the Terran that in so many games we've seen, hey, I get my medevac out, I'm going to circumvent your units, and I'm going to drop your main, and what are you going to do? You're going to warp in your units, and I'm going to send my Marauders? There's really not a whole lot he can do. But since he's being so aggressive with the Stalkers, he's not allowing him to do that. And that's such an important part of Bio.
Yeah, and now that he's got Stim, now that he's got concussive shells and medevacs, he's completely confident in his ability to drive SaroVati away. We can see that's exactly what he did. Now he's going to use this to apply a little bit of pressure of his own and try to turn the game around. Meanwhile, level 1 weapons is just completed, level 1 armor is just completed, and there's still no upgrades out of Crayon, but again, Stim Bio just does so much damage. Unfortunately, there is a lot of Zealots here. He's going to have to be very careful with his micro in this engagement. The Zealots trying to close in. Charge is about halfway done, so he doesn't have to worry about that quite yet. Very good micro so far by Crayon. The medevacs are trailing a little bit too far back. First medevac is going to go down, and he does need to try and keep as many of these as possible alive, because now his stims are really going to start to cost him. And you can see that the Zealots managed to close in for just a few swipes, and that is really starting to show as SaroVati manages to take that engagement. Supply differential right now, only 79, 83, 85 now to the 74 of ILIKECRAYON, but the thing is, SaroVati is gearing up to take this third expansion here. And Crayon, well, he actually has his command center completed. SaroVati moving around the map to try and counter this really nice read by SaroVati. Just knows the timing, knows the purpose of that attack, and is going to try and turn that around after winning that engagement.
And
nice snipe by that
medevac. Now, this is really important. As we discussed earlier, we're seeing charge come up that SaroVati's doing, and with this double forge style, we're seeing the Templar, we're seeing Storm, but the important thing that Crayon's doing that Archaic didn't, he's got Ghosts. We've seen another pylon warping in. We've seen the third base of SaroVati go down. So this is going to be a really pretty big timing window, actually, where these charge lots is going to be warping in mainly, and Templar, and he's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Crayon here.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the first Ghost that's going to be popping out right now. There's already 3 Templar on the field. They're going to be gaining energy. Psystorm just about to complete. Level 1 weapon, or level 2 weapons and armor is at about 80%, I'd say. And looks like SaroVati might just sit here in a nice position, wait for those upgrades to complete, wait for his Templar to get a little bit more energy, and then really start to press into this attack. Crayon knows what's about to happen. He's going to pull some SCVs off the line here, and they're a little bit too far forward. He just does not have a lot of bio right now.
No, if he doesn't get perfect game, he is off. The game's over here.
Oh, big Psystorms. All the SCVs go down with those Psystorms, and the bio is getting absolutely massacred right now. Instant GG out of Crayon. Beautifully executed by SaroVati.
Yeah, and that was because he stayed too long in the first engagement when he tried to get his third command center up. He stayed too long, he lost the medevacs, and he lost that big initial army. Engaging when he scouted double forwards, you really can't be super aggressive against a Protoss that does that because their army's so really potent in this early game when there's like 30, 40, 50 supply units. When it gets to later game, you have the mutual upgrades and you have your ghosts, so you're trading the few ghosts you have for all their shields, so their upgrades are kind of nullified. But since he was almost too aggressive, he threw the game away right there.
Yeah, just couldn't get the forces out that he really needed to. After throwing them away so early in the game, and then just Storm, man. It kills bio.